I like to get my audience engaged. Are you, not like, will you marry me? But I like to have a good, warm, fun crowd. Are you a good, warm, fun crowd, or are you too frozen to react? Because I believe that if you have some fun, you're going to learn more. Because I'm not here just to pontificate and to give you bullshits, and actually give you actual things that you can use now and make money. Are you okay with that? 4 of you are excited. Fantastic. All right. So first of all, I don't invest locally. I live in Orlando, but I don't invest very much in Orlando because the returns aren't there. So again, I'm very return specific. I don't give a shit where the property is, and my advertising costs are actually zero. I don't spend any money on marketing, and I use none of my own money. Are you okay with buying properties, having zero marketing cost, and using none of your own money? Again, suspend whatever belief you have that this is complete bullshit, and just for a second, pretend that you can play along with me for a second. And if you think this is bullshit, afterwards, come see me. I'll give you whatever HUD statements that you need to see times 1,000, and you'll see exactly that we're closing deal after deal after deal consistently. No bullshit. You can see the numbers. You can see due diligence items that we have in Dropboxes. These are real deals. This is not bullshit at all. Are you okay with that? Yep. All right, fantastic. All right, so again, my name is Marco Kozlowski. Who has never heard of me before today? Wow. Really not cooler than I thought it was. So yeah, so my name is Marco. I got married when I was 18, had 4 kids at 24. You don't care. I do things quickly. Yeah. And I got into real estate like everyone else did. And I actually was a concert pianist. That's my background. I'm a musician. And didn't make any money in music. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. Didn't make any money in music, said fuck this, to actually make some music, and because I was married very young, and do you know what the number one, and I was struggling financially, do you know what the number one cause of divorce is? It's marriage. It is marriage.
That's deep.
So after 12 years of marriage and having financial problems, I decided to get divorced, go into the real estate field, try my luck, and actually did fairly well. And I actually only did single families, except for 2, which were multis that I happened to do by accident, because it was a package of single families that I actually got these multis, and I didn't know anything about it really. And then during the crash in 07, 08, 09, I pretty much lost my entire portfolio, except for my 2 multis that actually went up in rents, because as the economy crashed, what happens to people that need housing? They need to rent, and rents go up, which means actually made that those 2 buildings allowed me to do something that I didn't think I could do, which was survive, and decided to only do multis from that floor because I realized that they were more economy proof than anything else. So I started buying multis, or trying to buy multis, and I tried different things, and this is what actually worked best for me. So I'll give you first my sort of my process. I have 3 phases. The first phase is going to be the takedown phase. The second phase is going to be the stabilization phase, which is where I lower expenses, increase revenues as much as possible. I don't do light rehabs at all, or if I do light rehabs, it's very, very like small. I'd say $1,000 to $1,500, tops $2,000 a unit. I don't do what some other gentlemen do here, which is completely gut the place, make it, and reposition it where it's, super whiz bang fancy. We don't do any of that. We just take existing rents and put actually the money that's the cash flow back into the property to eventually stabilize it to have a good trailing 12 months. Once we do, then we refinance it. So here's well, first let me show you some examples if I can get this thing to work, and it doesn't. I don't know, the room's too big maybe. All right. So now I'm originally from Canada. Anyone ever been to Canada? Originally, I'm Canadian. I'm not originally Canadian. I am Canadian. This is what a Canadian looks like. And for a very long time, I didn't have a social security number, so I bought most of the properties, most of the assets that I have using asset-based loans only. Are you familiar with what an asset-based loan is? Anyone familiar at all with an asset-based loan is? Non-recourse asset-based loans. Please tell me what an asset-based loan. It's sort of a hard money loan, but it doesn't matter what your credit is. It's only determinant on the income of the property. Does that make sense? Hello? All right. So crash course, I'm sure you all probably know this, but in most of the country, if a property, again, I'll give you a quick crash course in multis. I'm sure you probably already know this, but you need to know this for my presentation or you're not going to be very happy. If a property grosses $300,000, everyone see that? All right? The gross is 300,000. What do you think you might actually keep after taxes, insurance, maintenance, management? Now we do pay 10% for management, and we have a 10% holdback for maintenance. So after tax, insurance, maintenance, management, and all the other shit that has to be paid, you're probably going to be left with about $150,000 to do it. Make sense? So what would the value of this building be in most of the country? Not San Francisco, not Chicago, not New York City. I'm talking in most of America. All right, it would be worth about $5 million if it's a 10 cap market, which is what most markets kind of are, about $1.5 million. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yes? So if you have income of $150,000 a year, it's worth how much? 1.5 million. And the lenders that I have access to and have been using for almost 10 years now, they will lend you about 70% of this number. What is 70% of 1.5 million? $1,050,000 is what they will lend. Now, this is based on LTV, not LTC or purchase price, meaning it's basic. They will give you 70% of the value, not what you paid for it. Do you understand the nuance there? What's the difference between what you paid for it and what you are getting? What's the difference? Well, here's the thing. So if I buy this property for $1 million, do I have a problem getting the money? I can get that's my budget, about $1,050,000. Do you understand? Which means if I get a property using the lenders I have access to, we get about $1,050,000. Now this works up to a point. Then the lenders want to see some scratch in the game, and we need about 20 to 30% down as the properties get more and more expensive. But anything around $1 million to $2 million, this kind of works. Anything higher than that, you're going to have to put some money down, and I'll share with you how to get the money so you don't have to put in your own money if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Only woohoo! All right. So my model is pretty simple. I find properties that are distressed. Now, why would someone want to sell a property that's worth about 1.5 for less than $1,050,000? Now, I want to stress that I'm dealing with distressed sellers, not distressed property. What's the difference?
Motivated?
Motivation.
The difference between a motivated property is that it's dilapidated. It's it's a war zone. There's shit going down. And a stressed seller is they're going through a divorce. They have medical issues. They need to relocate. They have to do something. They've already relocated. They don't want the property anymore. They've let it go. Whatever the case is, it's a different kind of seller. So we're looking for sellers that are more motivated versus properties that are more motivated, meaning that if a person has the opportunity where they're making $150,000 a year, and if they wait, they're going to get 1.5 million. But if they say yes to whatever our offer is, we're going to be able to give them $1 million right now, so they can either wait for 1.5 or get $1 million now. And if you absolutely need money now, what are you going to say? Yes. Now, is this going to work all the time? No. We make 100 offers, only one of them gets accepted. That's okay with us. How much does it cost for us to get a no? Can't hear you. Nothing. In fact, most of you make offers and you want them to get what? Accepted. We make offers hoping they get rejected. Because if you get an offer that's accepted, you offer too much, period. Mm-hmm. You have. There's no room left. I will never want an offer to get it. Now, again, you're in a different market than I am. You believe that if you make a low offer, someone else is going to take it. And that's probably true here in San Francisco. That's why I don't do business here in San Francisco. I want to be able to make low offers in areas, them to say no, so we can have some fun going back and forth, because the negotiating actually is the fun part. So rule number one is we never make offers that get accepted. Our offers always have to be rejected. Rule number one. Make sense? Then we play back and forth from there. And again, the point is to get the property as low as possible. Now, I'm going to show you some examples in a second here. So this is Kylie and Janie. They're in their 20s. And they have over 100 units using none of their own money. So I'll just show you this real quick. And this is actually for the deaf. It's still for the deaf. Boy, this is Marco. Hi, Marco. How are you doing? This is me talking to them. A wonderful couple here met me in Montreal. Hey guys, it's Marco, live here from my house, and I'm here with Kylie and Janie from Montreal. We met about 3 years ago, and this wonderful couple here met me in Montreal, where they live now. And Kyle actually went to my high school 20 years ago and had the same music teacher, which is Interesting, ironic. We actually only found that out about a year ago. And they're mentorship students of mine. You are, I believe, a math teacher or doing something in math, or getting your master's in math.
I was.
And you were on a plan to do that. I'll hear your story in just a second. And you're a nurse, and they just decided to retire recently.
That's right.
Which is when? When did you make this decision?
Well, the numbers decided for us, but it's been since
2 weeks ago.
So 2 weeks ago, they quit their jobs. They no longer have to work because I believe real estate has supplemented your income.
That is correct.
Which means real estate pays for your bills. Your tenants pay for your car. Your tenants pay for your travel. Your tenants pay for your lifestyle. Your tenants pay for pretty much everything. You want to go to the movies, it's all based on the tenants. So you have a nice little portfolio that you've built up since you met me.
That's right.
That's right.
Fantastic. So tell us about the journey real quick. Was it get rich quick? Now it's been 3 years.
It has been 3 years.
So it takes about 3 years to build a portfolio that will take you to where you want to go. How many of you would like to retire financially free in 2 to 3 years from now? Only half the room? All right. How many of you want to work for the next 25 years, working for someone else, being told what to do, how to do it, and being a slave to your boss? Oh, okay. That's a better answer. So here's, on average, now, again, there's a lot of ways to skin a multifamily cat. We had Ben yesterday who only deals in Phoenix, and he buys 4.5 caps. Now we borrow the money at 8.5%. So using my model, could you buy a 4.5 cap and pay 8.5% for the money? I can't hear you.
No.
Why not? Because you're going to be losing money every single month, so it doesn't work. So I need to buy at least a over 10 cap for me to be able to survive the monthly payments. And that doesn't even give me any wiggle room if there's a margin of error. Does that make sense? So my model is dependent on higher cap rated properties, again, that have taxes, insurance, management, maintenance, some shit built in, and a small fudge factor just in case there are errors. So there are higher cap rated properties there, and I don't care if it's a 5 unit or if it's a 200 unit. We just closed on 100, I'll share, I didn't have time to put in the presentation, but if you want to take a look at these numbers, a 144 unit building in Iowa. Now, I don't want to live in Iowa. If there's anyone here from Iowa, is there anyone here from Iowa? All right, I'll tell you wouldn't get the joke anyway, but I'm just teasing you, I'm just teasing you. That's an Arkansas joke, but I used it for Iowa. All right, so, I'll let that sink in a little bit. All right, so 144 unit building, it makes over $750,000 a year of net income. Okay, the gross is close to 1.6 million. We keep about 750. We bought this for $3.2 million. What can you buy in San Francisco, Bay Area, anywhere in California for $3.2 million that nets $750,000 a year?
Nothing.
Can't hear you.
Nothing.
All right. So if it makes $750,000, would it be fair to say at a 10 cap, it's worth 7.5 million? Just hear me out. Yes? At least a 10 cap. It's actually it's an 8 cap market, but we're gonna say $7.5 million. Does anyone have a calculator?
Yeah.
All right. I need some help because math is not my strong suit. All right. $7.5 million. Now, at a 10 cap, it's worth 7.5. We're into it for 3.2. So we actually got $2.5 million in financing at 8.5%. So we got $2.5 million of a bank saying, we'll give you 2.5 for this purchase. We need to raise how much? Or we need to raise out of our pocket? $700,000. Now, where do we get the $700,000 is the fun part. We're going to get back to this later. So this is going to be a quick case study. 2.5 million of debt at how much percent? 8.5%. Is that terrible? It's terrible?
Not
How
really.
many of you think it's terrible? Raise your hand. Now this is short-term debt. This is only the debt to get us to the refi. We have 3 phases. Phase 1 is what? The takedown. I need to take it down. Do I want to get the best possible debt on this, or do I want to be able to buy it, stabilize it for some time, own it, and then pull as much cash out of this deal as possible, paying back my investors?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm going to do, and I'll show you this in a second. So we borrowed $700,000. Now I had the pleasure of meeting some people last night at dinner, and I use foreign money. I have local investors, but I use a lot of foreign money. I'm in Hong Kong a lot, I'm in India a lot, I'm in Vietnam a lot, I'm in Australia a lot, I'm in Canada a lot, and I'm just wherever I want to be a lot. And this is something that most of my foreign investors absolutely love. So here's the model. So they're going to get $700,000 and they're going to own a third of the deal because they're giving me the money that I need in order to close. I'm going to get 2/3, they're going to get 1/3. Is that clear? I'm giving away a third of the business to them. Is that fair? How much money out of my pocket? Can't hear you. Nice round number. How much?
0.
I have 2.5 million non-recourse loan, 1/3. I'm going to give them 1/3 of the money. They give me, in fact, they're going to give me 800,000 because I always borrow just a little bit more just in case shit goes down. Units go down, something happens we didn't know about. We need a little extra cash. We get 800,000 into the business. We now close, boom, and we have a value of $7.5 million on the asset. Hope I'm not losing anyone. Yes? Net is 750,000. We do small tweaks here and there, and we get the property to 800,000. So we increase the NOI, the net operating income, just a little bit. Let's call it a round number of 800,000 by raising the rents. They were undervalued, and we just 144 units. If you do 144 units times $25, it adds up. You can actually do pretty well and make well over 800,000, but let's just call it 800,000, and reducing, of course, the expenditures. Now, if you raise the rents 5% and you lower the expenses 5%, what did you just increase your bottom line to?
10.
I can't hear you.
10.
10%.
What's 10% of $750,000? $75,000. You understand that? Okay. So getting to 800,000 is not going to be a big stretch. So 800,000, just play along with me here. And if it's a 9-cap market, we're going to say, no, it's going to be an 8-cap market. By the time we refinance, it's no longer a 9-cap, it's gone down. Sorry, it's no longer an 8-cap, it's now a 9-cap market. We're going to divide that by 0.09, and that's going to give us an approximate value. What's 800,000 divided by 0.09, that'll tell us the approximate value in a conservative manner what this property is worth. What is it?
8.8. Almost 9 million.
How much is it?
8.8 million.
8.8 million. Have I lost anyone yet?
Woohoo!
Hello? Are you still with me? Yes, sir. All right. What do we enter this property for? 3.3 million. You understand that? 3.2 closing plus 100,000 extra for closing costs, whatever we need, plus a little cash in the bucket, and we owe $800,000 to a, in this case, Hong Kong investor. Are we clear?
Yeah.
Good. Now, when we do a cash out refi, which will be an 80% cash out refi, we're going to say, let's say 75% cash out refi. We're not even going to get to 80%. So I'm devaluing the value of the property. It's now a 9-cap market versus 8, and we're not getting 80%, which is what we normally get. We're only going to get 75. What is 75% of 8.8 million, please, for this model? What's 8.8 million times 0.75? 6.6 million. Have I lost anyone? If I've lost you, please forgive me. Are you cool? You got me? Totally lost? Okay. No to both answers. 8.8 million value at 75%, which is what we're going to get from the bank on a cash out refi. The product is a 10-year, 5% HUD-based loan. It's HUD-backed, but it's private equity, and HUD is backing it. So it's a 5% with a 10-year prepayment penalty. Got it? At 5% interest. So listen carefully here. What's 75% of 8.8 million, please?
6.6.
6.6 million. How much do I have into this property?
3.3.
What's coming out of into my pocket? 3.3 million. How much tax do I have to pay on borrowed money? Can't hear you.
0.
$3.3 million cash-free pull-out.
Tax-free.
What do I do with that 3.3 million? Could I go to Vegas, hookers and blow? Could I do that? If I wanted to, could I? All right. I know that's what you're going to do. It's not interest-free. It's tax-free. Tax-free. The tenants are paying for it. Now, I could do whatever the hell I want with that money, or I could reinvest it, roll it over into something else. Now, do I still have this asset? Now, can anyone tell me what 6.6 million is at 5% over 25 years? That's the amortization schedule. It's important. I know I don't want to get too technical here, but this is important. 6.6 million is what's owed. Now, what's cool is, did the investors get all their money back? Can't hear you.
Yep.
They get a third of this 3.3 million, so they also get $1.1 million on top of what they put in. Totally different model than what most people do, because when people get their money back generally, that's it, the deal's over. I want them in the deal still, as a sweetener. So what happens when I give someone their money back, the $700,000 or $800,000 plus $1.1 million, what do they want to do with that money? Give it back to me when? Right fucking now. And then they tell two friends, and they tell two friends. And then you have more money than you need to know what to do with, and I can buy as many properties as possible, and that's why we buy 1,500 units a year. Because the money is never the problem. I keep my investors in the deal after the refi, so they get a third of whatever the juice is, and they're still in a position to own the property after the property's gone down. And I don't sell because I want the cash flow. I'm in the cash flow business. I want to do whatever the hell I want when I want. I don't want to sell the asset. Why sell the cash cow? Has anyone figured out what 6.6 million is at 25-year amortization, 5%, please?
Yes.
How much? 330,000? What's my cash flow? 880 minus 330. What's my leftover cash flow? $550,000 per year forever.
Beautiful.
That's one deal. How's that sound? No? You hate it? Polo. What's that? It sounds too good to be true. I'll show you the HUDs. I'll show you the HUDs. Again, this is dependent on buying the right property at the right price. Do you understand? This does not work in San Francisco because I can't get a 15 cap in San Francisco. I can't get a 10 cap in San Francisco. I can't get the money to be able to buy anything in San Francisco or even in Phoenix. It's not going to happen. These are secondary or third markets. Iowa is not the belly button of the universe. It's the armpit, but it's okay. All right? So we have the takedown phase, the seasoning phase, and the refi phase. The takedown is at higher interest. I don't care because my exit strategy, which is very important to me, is in 18 to 24 months. Now, if you know exactly how to find a property, which I would love to share with you if you want to learn how to do this, zero marketing costs, because these properties are all online. LoopNet has tons of 10 caps, and there's a process to go from a 10 cap to a 15 cap. Is it going to happen in 5 minutes? No. If it takes you 6 months to negotiate someone from a 10 to 11 to a 12 to a 13 to a 14 to a 15, gradually every month just chipping away, is it worth 6 to 8 months of time to get one of these deals?
Oh, yeah.
This is not get rich quick, but it's certainly get rich
For sure.
eventually. And if you have 10, 15, 20 of these in the pipeline, maybe one or two actually gets through, and that's all you fucking need. Because I'm not doing this, I'm not in the real estate business. I'm in the cash flow business. And I buy hotels, multifamilies. I don't do much single family because there's no point. I can't pull out a 6-figure check or a 7-figure check out of a single family. I just can't do it. The lending is not there. The hard money lending isn't available at the rates that I want in the areas that I want. This is a process that I've created, perfected, fucked up so many times, made so many mistakes. Now it works. That's just how it is, all right? So the sequel is as often as possible, all right, and just be done. Do this as often as you can and then just be done, all right? Now, I've already done this, all right? I've already done that. Now, you have a 94% chance of being completely fucked. Can I say that? Because I can't say retarded, but I can say fucked, all right? Most of you will retire flat broke, sadly, not necessarily in this room, which is very good, which makes me warm and fuzzy. Social Security is a complete joke. Inflation is rising faster than your savings, as just unforeseen shit ever happen. It's going to happen. So you can either focus on doing as many deals as possible, or doing it in a way where, okay, it's not your city. What's the scary part of not investing in your city? Why is everyone so terrified of buying out of state? You have a professional management company that's going to handle shit. You're paying them 10%. That's a lot. You're paying them 10%, and if they screw up and they're a bonded insurance management company and they happen to fuck up, what can you do? Sue. And you change over to the next one. There should be enough cash flow to be able to handle it. There's enough padding in the cash flow because of a higher cap rate that you can make things happen. So what's your plan? What is your actual plan to really retire in the next 3 years? Buy as many houses as you can. Hope the economy goes up. Could the economy go sideways? Could it happen? Hello?
Yeah.
Could it?
Yes.
Yes. Now, if the economy goes sideways in what I'm doing in multifamily, I do mostly C class, B minus, C plus. That's the sweet spot for us. And if someone loses their home, if they're no longer able to live in their home, what do they have to do? And if the economy collapses again like it did in 06, 07, 08, 09, and 10, what happened to people? Where do they have to go? Apartments. And all of us know this because we all like the apartment business. And that's the pattern. Is if something does go wrong, they live in those areas. Trailer parks. I love trailer parks. I know, it's not something I'm going to show my parents. Look, Ma, I just bought a new trailer park. She'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? She'll hit me as many times as she can. She's 80 years old. She'll find a way to kill me. But it makes money. Someone has to live somewhere. And if the economy crashes, can everyone afford $500 a month?
Yes.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
You can get a $10 an hour job and still work 50 hours a week in 1 week and pay for your whole month of rent. Everyone can afford $500 a month. Affordable housing is vital, in my opinion. All right, the lottery isn't an option. All right, this is Laurier. Now, Laurier didn't believe what I had to say. He looked at me in the eyes and says, Marco, I think you're full of shit. I'm like, okay. He says, I'm 80 years old. I invested in a mutual fund that was Bernie Madoff's. Lost everything. Now I'm 80. I have two choices. I can go find a job or I can do what you're suggesting. I have no money left. Now, when you're 80 years old and you lost everything, what are your options? There's only two places that will hire you. McDonald's and Walmart.
Wow.
Two. Is he in a good spot or a terrible spot? Terrible spot. I felt bad for the guy. I said, okay, let's figure out how to help you out. He got this mobile home park under contract. Let me show you the numbers. Again, it's for the deaf.
How we doing?
We're doing great. We're going into his park just north of Boston. We got here last night. Now we're going to go check out the area. This is the first time we've seen this park. You've been at it for a couple of years now. Not this park, but
Yeah.
trial and error.
Yeah.
Now you're a young spring chicken. I think you were born in the 20s, the 19s.
I was born in the 1900s.
Oh, that's okay, good, yes. Well, you're looking great. I know you went to school with Moses. But Laurier is not a spring chicken, but he's still at it. This is one I think that needs a little work. But there are how many units on this in this park?
25 plus 6 that are...
31 unit park. There's another unit over here that we can, an opportunity. And this is, you know what the net is on this thing? What's the net?
Well, I'll have to look at that.
Дома, знаете, переводят старые.
I'm not sure. I'd have to go back. That was
Либо предсадцы,
117.
либо все
About
мобильные.
117,000, so the park's worth over $1 million. Okay. So, what's the park worth? At a 10 cap, now this is just north of Boston, it's better than 10 cap market, but just to keep the numbers easy, if it nets $117,000 a year, what's this thing worth? About $1.1 million. Are we clear on this?
Yeah.
North of
Austin.
Boston. North of Boston.
Oh, Boston.
There's Boston, and then you go north, and there's the park. Boston, north of Boston, park. That was a slow-mo for those of you that didn't get it the first time. We can have fun, can't we?
Absolutely.
We don't have to have a stick in our asses to make money, man. Like, fuck. Have some fucking fun. Some of you haven't had fun in a long fucking time. Since Reagan was around, man. All right. So this thing is, now he bought this for $450. Just north of $450. $452. All right, but I'm going to say $450. Now what can you buy in the San Francisco or the Bay Area for $450, period?
Single garage.
Not the toilet, okay? And then you have $117,000 of net income. So more importantly, what can you buy for $450 that'll make you $117,000 a year? Nothing. Nothing. But this is north of Boston. Like, this is like north. Not northern Massachusetts, so not a lot of people live there, so the cap rates are higher because the demand is less. Does that make sense? Now, with management, that's $117,000 net, which means it's worth $1.1 million. What's the budget? 700 and change. Can he afford to buy this with no money out of his pocket? I can't hear you. Yes. We can get 70% non-recourse financing. Do you understand? The budget is $700,000. If he's below that, he doesn't need any money to buy it. Is that clear? He can't borrow more than the action price. He can't pull money out. He's going to say, fuck you. It's $450 period, closing costs included, whatever it is, $450. Let's call it $475. Let's call it $500 just for shits and giggles to make the numbers real easy. Are we clear? So what's the loan on this property? Try this again. What's the loan on this property?
500.
All right. He holds it for how long? 12 months to 18 months. We're going to increase a little bit, decrease a little bit, and we're going to go from 117 to 120. Let's make it real simple. Got it? We're going to do 75% cash out refi. What's he going to get? 800,000. 75% of 8 is 800,000. Are we clear? What does he owe the bank? Now this is at 5%, so the interest rate's going to be much better. What's he pull out tax-free? 300,000. He did that in less than a year. So the money he lost with Madoff, he actually made back more in real estate, and he still gets the cash flow from the real estate.
Sweet.
Some people say you can't suck and blow. Well, that's how you do it. You can't suck and blow at the same time, right? But this, you get both at the same time. It's great. All right? Get your minds out of the gutter, please. He bought it right. He gets a good valuation after owning it for over 12 months. $300,000 cash out. What can you do with that $300,000, ladies and gents? Can you go buy something else?
Reinvest.
He reinvested it. He bought a hotel in Iowa. That's what he did. We like Iowa. It makes money. All right? So most retired flat, I've already done this. I don't know why that happened. All right, so why haven't you purchased more assets that work for you? Now, what do you want to do? Work for the asset or work for you? Hit work for you. Is that what you're doing now? Why the fuck not? So, number one, here's why. You don't know how. Would you like me to hold your hand, hold you hostage for 3 days and show you how? Can't hear you. If I were to make available a small class, very small, and hold you accountable and make you buy a property in that class. In fact, that's the guarantee. I'm so confident that I can actually make you do this. I will make you buy, between now and the class, you will have a small multi-unit using none of your own money. In fact, it's forbidden for you to use any of your own money. Are you okay with that? Now, if you know how to do a 3 to 5 unit, 6 unit, 8 unit, could you do a 10 unit, 100 unit, 20 unit? The process is similar. Can't hear you.
Yep.
So, if you want to learn how to do this, I will hold you hostage, give you all the tools, tell you how to market, where to market, what marketing tools to use, and a small group of 15 people I will take under my wing here in the San Francisco Bay Area or in Vegas, depending on where we want to do it. Vegas is more fun, but whatever, we can do it here. And by the end of the class, you will have a property using none of your own money. That's the promise. All right? Now, if you don't have any money, you don't need any money. Now, why don't you need your own money? Because there's plenty of money out there that want a good return. Well, now, some of you might, I don't want partners, I don't want to use, anybody else's money. What's the problem with using your own money when you're buying property? What will eventually happen? You're going to run out of money. I don't care how many zeros are in your bank account, you will eventually run out of cash. And I've never used my own money, and the beauty of that is when someone wants to lend me their money and I give them the money back plus a fantastic return, what do they want to redo with their money? Which allows me to do how many deals?
Unlimited.
As many as I want. I choose unlimited access to funds over limited access to funds any day of the week. Because there's an unlimited amount of money out there. Guys, how much money is available in the universe?
Everything.
Can't hear you? Unlimited. So there's an unlimited amount of money in the universe. Why is there a limited amount now in your bank account? Unlimited means no limits. Why is there a limit in yours? It's your behavior. Are there people that come to this country with no money out of their pocket, are completely dead broke, aren't as good looking as you, don't have your education, are completely, literally in a terrible spot, and in 5 years make more than most Americans make in a lifetime? Does that happen?
Amen.
So what the fuck's your problem? Just do something different, get a different result. That's it. And all I'm offering you, if you so desire, is for me to immediately today give you a marketing sequence to existing properties that are already on the market. I'll tell you exactly what to do, how to do it, and the sequence to do it, and you will have deals in hand very quickly. Now we're going to start with small deals, because first you have to learn how to crawl, then you have to learn how to walk, then you can learn how to run. And we'll start with small deals so you understand the process, and you can make the mistakes, because you are going to make the mistakes. How are you going to learn? I can't hear you. You got to make the mistakes. If I don't let you make the mistake, you're not going to learn the lesson. It's like if you shield a kid and you give them no mistakes at all, they're never going to become strong humans. You've got to learn how to make mistakes. In 3 to 4 units, 144 units, you screw up, the deal's over, you just lost a lot of income, and potentially somebody gets hurt. We don't want that for you. If you don't have credit, it doesn't matter. You don't need credit. These are all non-recourse loans that we're dealing with. All right, you're too busy being busy to get wealthy. You're afraid of something. You know what fear stands for? Fuck everything and run. You're right. Exactly right. Insert your excuse here because that's all it was. All right, that changes today if you so desire. Love to be able to help you. If you know exactly what to do and where to do it, get the money, would you? Can't hear you. How many of if I gave you the game plan, marketing plan, everything plan, held your hand for 3 days, how many of you would do it? Raise your hand. Good. Smart people. This is Chow. She lives here in Newark, California. Never bought a piece of real estate in her whole life. All right? We're here with Chow.
Hello.
Chow, where do you live?
I live in Newark, California.
And where are you now?
I am in Holbrook, Arizona.
And what are you buying?
We're buying a hotel,
How many rooms?
60 rooms.
60 whole rooms. And how many of those will you own?
All of it.
Yes! And there's also a restaurant back here and a bar and a huge parking lot. And how many deals have you done before this?
0.
And how many, why are you buying a hotel? What happened?
I want recurring income,
Yes?
and I need help from Marco,
Why do you need help from Marco?
because he knows what he's doing.
Yay! So far so good. What's your return, what's your cap rate on this hotel?
The cap rate should be 15%.
It is, and it includes a restaurant that's back here, which we ate at all this hotel. And amazing, and congratulations. Are you happy?
Yes, I'm happy. Once we close.
Is it your happy face?
Do you want me to happy?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So she closed on this one. Congrats to Chow. Then she closed on another one, which is a multi-unit in Memphis that was 17 cap. And we just closed, refinance, $162,000 out of that deal. There's the HUD, copy of the HUD. That was her cash out refi, $162,000. How much money did she use to buy it?
0.
Can't hear you. Nice round number. And when she refied, what did she get?
162.
$162,000. Where does that $162,000 go?
Reinvest.
Hip National Bank. Wherever she wants. Exactly right. And they're right here in California. Now, why would they invest in Memphis as opposed to California? Cap rates are better. Got a better deal. Again, we bought the property, did very light rehab to it, increased the revenue, decreased the expenses, pulled out all non-recourse financing, which is fabulous. You can do this from anywhere. Properties are not distressed. The sellers are. Cash flowing for 2 years minimum. We're not buying risk. If the property has not been cash flowing for the last 2 years, we run away. It has to have a track record, provable track record, that with tax returns, we have a complete checklist for due diligence to make sure that we're not getting into something that's going to scare the shit out of us or have huge surprises, all right? And over 6,000 units in over 20 years. And I would love for you to add to that. Are you okay with that? Yeah. All right, very good, very good. All right, I fucked it all up. I'm not going to stand here in front of you and say I'm perfect. I have made a lot of mistakes. I have made a lot of mistakes. And I've survived them all, and I've learned from them. Do you want to learn from someone that says they're perfect, or do you want to learn from someone that actually admits all the mistakes that he's made? I fucked up a lot of things. I've screwed up a shit ton. I've survived them. I haven't died. I've always managed to save the plane. So which plane do you want to get into? The pilot that's never had turbulence, or the one that's been through hell and still saved all the passengers?
Second.
That's up to you to decide. Whoops, I just did something I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Amy, thanks. If you go on my Facebook, you're going to see a shit ton of testimonials of people that are doing this. This is, can you put it on, am I done? Am I being believed right now? I'm coming. In a minute, yeah, in a minute, yeah. This is Ryan. Now, in 14 years, he's actually a mortgage broker in Nashville. Anyone here from Nashville? All right, he's a mortgage broker in Nashville. And over 14 years, he bought 90 units using 20% down model, lower cap rates. He was used to a lower cap rate model, 8.5, 9 cap, that's all you can get. He saw me, he said, there's no fucking way you can buy 15 caps. And you can actually see the interview. He just closed on a hotel in Indiana. And he has 92 units now under contract. They're set to close between now and the end of the month, using none of his own money, all 15 cap plus. So 14 years, 20% down using his own money, and less than 6 months, 92 units, none of his own money. What's a better model? I'll say it slower. 90 units, using 20% down, using his own money, or 92 units in 6 months, 14 years to 6 months, using none of his own money, 92 units, 15 cap plus, double the cap rate than he was used to before. What's a better model? Thank you, very good. And you rock, far walk, I've already done this, blah, blah, blah. All right, yes, we already talked about that, all right. So the class is generally $7K, and I'm not going to charge $7K. In fact, I'm going to give you basically almost do it for free, if you're okay with that, but not quite for free. The admission is going to go 100% to charity. This gentleman's charity over there, plus the other charity. Are you okay with that? I'm not going to get paid a dime for this. I'm going to do it out of the kindness of my heart to help a charity, and you're going to learn how to do it. But if you're not invested in learning the process, you're not going to learn it at all. Is that fair? Can't hear you. So for those of you that do want to do this, the first person that does take action, go see Jose, my buddy over there. You're going to get it for basically almost nothing. First person only. Then we have 15 spots total. I'm going to take the first 9. So the first person to go see Jose is going to get the best possible deal, and then it's going to be, and again, all the proceeds go to charity. I've already done the auction. That was it. You're done.
Oh.
Bye.
And he also said he's going to match the first $1,000. So
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah, yes. Well, it's all going here. So, yes.
So awesome. Thank you.
So go grab a form from Jose, take care of that. And again, the promise, the guarantee is on the form that I will help and support you for free until you get your first deal, period, using forbidden none of your own money. And the event will be here in the San Francisco Bay Area in a couple of weeks from now.
Damn it, I was going to bid on it. I already missed out.
It's already done. This is Wei Ning. This is kind of cool. Hey, this is Marco Kozlowski, and I'm very excited to be here with Wei Ning. Hey, we're here today in Selma, Alabama, where he has a property under contract, a 60-acre trailer park under contract that makes
$8,000 a month.
$8,000 net per month, correct?
Net.
That's net after
net.
expenses, everything else. $8,000 a month, net. And how much money did you have out of your pocket to make that $8,000
Zero.
a month?
Zero.
I can't hear you.
Zero?
$0. So you actually got this property under contract. We're closing in the next couple of weeks. You found a money partner, someone to help you with the cash. We have owner financing terms, so we have a very creative deal. And the net to you will be
$4,000 a month.
$4,000 a month. So you'll be making $4,000 a month. The park makes 8, you'll make 4 by having a money partner come in. We'll show you how to do that just by being a little bit creative. Plus, the seller said, hey, guess what? I've got another park, which is only 5 miles away. How much does that park make?
That part makes $26,000 a month.
$26,000 a month. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure of my numbers.
$26,000. This guy is always showing his numbers. He's an engineer. He's always knowing his numbers. So $26,000 a month. We're going to get another money partner in, so we'll be able to split that up. So you'll be making, what, about $10,000, 15, 20? What's the number approximately?
13?
$13,000 a month. So 7, 4 plus 13 is?
It's 24?
4 plus 13 would be?
4 plus 13. Oh, the numbers are so big. 17.
It's about $17,000 a month net to you, with absolutely no money in your pocket, just by doing it creatively. So, Waiting has been doing this for almost a year now. He was frustrated. He didn't give up. He did exactly what we told him to do.
Yes.
You told the line, you did exactly what was expected, and now he's staring down the barrel at $17,000 a month passive income for the rest of his life. The potential income on this is actually $160,000 a month because there's 400 spaces, all with $400 a month in lot rent. 400 spaces with 2 parks times $400 a month is $160,000 a month in potential rents. Divide that by 2 for expenses, you're looking at a net of about $80,000 a month, which is absolutely phenomenal. So congratulations, Wayne, on doing this.
Thank you very much.
You've paid your dues, you've done exactly what's supposed to be done, and I'm really, really proud of you. Good job.
Thanks.
This is Marco with Wayne here in Alabama. Woo. Now this is Alabama. I invest a lot in the Bible Belt, I like the Bible Belt, and I like the asset class of mobile home parks. Now $400 a month times 400 spaces times 12 months divided by 2 is around $960,000 of net income per year. It's almost $1 million a year of net income. How many of you would like to have $1 million of net income using none of your own money?
All of
Now,
them.
if you only got to keep half of that, would that be okay?
Yeah.
Now that's the net, so if after debt service you only got half, would that be cool? So there's a lot of money to be made, and if you understand how to structure the deal properly, you don't have to use your own money. What I didn't mention, by the way, is for those of you that are coming, you can bring a spouse, a parent, a child, 2 kids, up to 4 family members completely free. I believe that wealth should be done as a family. So if you are registering, you can bring up to 4 family members completely free. Got it? And again, it's going 100% to charity, so, it's a good cause. So I'm going to help a good cause, and you're going to help your family, so everybody wins. So that's it. I believe I have a Q&A that is going to be on the other side. I'd love to answer any questions that you might have. Jose, I don't know where Jose is. Jose? No way, Jose. Where's Jose? All right. Wasn't my day to watch him. So, guys, thanks very much for listening. If you have any other questions, I will answer whatever I can. My time is up. I'm being bo-peeped, but I'm looking forward to helping you grow as an investor, showing you how to find properties that are a lot better returns,